So we're gonna get back here, and we're gonna get back here and get back to the style.css, and we need to keep going. So sidebar category, we added display flex. Now we also need to add the item center, which we've done already. I told you guys that's gonna make the icons and the text align. And finally, we need to go ahead and add a padding over here. And this padding, I'm gonna add in 2px and 25px. So you guys already know how this is working. Now I'm gonna say sidebar underscore category. I don't want to target the span that's in there. Now the span, I'm simply gonna give it a margin left, margin left. Don't worry, I'm going to show you guys what's going on, what's going to happen right now. Now it's going to shift all the whole text to the right. Okay, so the span is the one that's holding the text. Remember, from the index.html, the span over here. So what we simply did is simply shift the span away from the icon. That's what we did by using 15px. So if we say 5px, it's going to go closer to the icon. If we say 55px, then we're going to go nuts. Okay, and that's not what we want to do. So I'm going to come over to 15px, and that's looking better. Okay, so the next thing that we could do is go ahead and work with the sidebar category hover. So I'm simply going to come over to sidebar category, just like this, and I'm going to say I'm gonna add in a hover, and for this one I want to add in a background, and this background I'm simply going to pass in white for it. So right now if we come over here, nothing is happening, and that's because we are not hovering on the span. Actually, if I'm gonna come over here and target the span, let's say hover span hover, so adding a cursor, and this cursor is going to be a pointer for that one. And I think that should be it. Finally, we want to go ahead. Why do I keep saying finally when it's not final? And I need to go ahead and add in a sidebar. And this one, I'm simply targeting the WebKit scroll. So remember this scrolling that we've got over here. I don't like this scrolling. It looks really ugly. So I'm gonna say minus WebKit or hyphen WebKit. So WebKit is simply used for targeting different elements in maybe different versions of browsers and something like that. So I'm going to pass in display, and I'm simply going to pass in none. So we don't want to see that annoying thing over there. And as you can see now, it's gone. So the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to get down here, and let's see. Okay, right now this is how everything is looking. I'm going to make sure that this is at 100%. So right now this is in our 100%. We don't make sure that it's at 100%, so we know what actually we are doing. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at 90% for now, but later we are gonna go ahead and check out what we are doing wrong that's making it not to be at 100% and still look good. So now we're gonna go ahead and target the HR that we've got. This HR, I'm simply gonna give it a height of 1px. I'm gonna give it a background color of we could say E5, and that's the color that it's got. We can also give it a border of none. So I'm gonna say border, and I'm simply gonna pass in none over there. So as you can see now, this looks really thin, and it looks way better than before. And that's simply what we want to do for the HR. Now we want to go ahead and start working with the videos. So I'm gonna come down here, and I'm gonna target .videos. And we are almost done. So if you are getting bored of this, just brace up. We're almost done. And I'm gonna add display flex. We want all the videos to go side by side. As you can see, that's what we've got, display flex. And we also want to add flex direction. This one is going to be row. So remember the flex direction that we're working with, this one is going to be row. And we also want to come down here and we want to add the justify content space around. So justify content, then we're gonna add space around. So for now you won't be seeing what's going on because everything looks really big. Now we're gonna go ahead and target the images later, and you guys will see how everything is looking. Okay, so I'm gonna pass in wrap for this. Okay, and that's simply because for now I can't even scroll. That's because for the videos like this, okay, it's just for the single video. The width is simply going to be 310px, and we give it a margin bottom of 30px. So I could say margin bottom 30px, and as you can see, everything is now getting together. So what do you notice? Width 310px. What do you notice now? We have 4 others on the same line. And if we come over here and say and get this display flex away from here, what do you notice now? Everything is gonna go beneath other ones. Okay, so it's the display flex that's actually bringing all this to the same line. And yes, so this is what we were supposed to get before. This is how we were supposed to have done it before, so you guys will see everything that was going on. So for the justify content and all this, now we just need to add all this. Then it's the videos that's going to be targeting all the images that we've got separately. Okay, so we need to go ahead and target a thumbnail. So I'm going to say the video underscore thumbnail. So when I was typing this out in the index.html, I thought I made a mistake over there. I'm going to look for it, and as you can see, I got no mistake over there. And now this is when we're going to target the thumbnail and make everything look way better. Okay, so I'm going to give this a width of, let's say 100%, so it looks more better. And I'm going to give it a height of, what am I doing? I'm going to give it a height of, let's say 170px. Okay, so as you can see, it's got way better. Now let's go ahead and target the image that's in the thumbnail. So I'm gonna say .video underscore thumbnail, and I want to target the image, the big image. Now we're gonna firstly add object dash fit. So object dash fit, and we can simply add in a cover over here. So I'm gonna say cover, and I also want to add in a height, and this height I'm simply gonna say 100%. And as you can see, it's getting smaller. And I can say width, I also want it to be 100%. So what does object cover do? So object cover is simply, I actually want this to be contain, not cover. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this full again, so we see everything. Now as you can see, this is looking good over here. So the images, were suppressing them before. Now if we come over here now and change this, I'm going to comment this out. Now this is what this does over here. So let's say a user is trying to upload an image that's way too big, and the image is really long. Now we want to make sure that the image doesn't get scattered in the thumbnail section. Okay, we want to make sure that everything gets contained in that 100% that we've defined. Or we could actually go ahead and use cover, but I want to use contain. Contain is way more better, and I'm going to show you guys why I'm using contain later. Now we're going to go ahead and target the author image because it's looking way too big now. So I'm going to say author, and I want to target the image right away. And we could add some properties to it. Firstly, we'll go ahead and let's see, we could add object dash fit. I could say cover or contain, whatever you want to add in. We could also add in a border radius. So border radius, I want it to be round, so I'm going to say 50%. What do you notice? As you can see now, it's round, but it's not really looking good like that. So what we need to do is go ahead and add a height and width. So I'm going to say height, and I'm simply going to add a 40px, and I'm going to say width, and I want to add a 40px, not 4px but 40px over there. And what do you notice? Everything be looking kind of good now. And finally, I'm gonna go ahead and add a margin right, and for this one I'm gonna say 10px. Okay, so as you can see, it's moved some way to the right, and that's looking quite good. So the next thing that we could do is just go ahead and work with the video details. So I'm gonna say does video underscore details, and for this one we could simply add a display flex. We want everything to be on the same line, just like we've been doing. Display, not block but flex this time. And as you can see, that's on the same line now. And also we could add a margin top, and we could say 10px. And we could go ahead and also target the title. So I'm going to target the title itself, and this title I'm going to give it a display, and I'm going to pass in flex, display flex, just like that. And let's see how this is looking. This isn't looking really good to me. Let's add a flex direction column. Firstly, I'm going to add a flex direction, and I'm going to pass in column. And okay, that's looking way better now. So the next thing that we could go ahead and pass in is I actually, okay, let's see. After the title, I'm gonna target a h3. So I'm gonna say title h3, and over here I'm simply gonna pass in color, and we could use maybe we could use some like e3, and I'm gonna come over here and put a hash. Hopefully that's the color that I want to use. No, that's not it. So I'm just going to manually choose a color over there. That's the color I want to use. Yes. And I want to give it a line height. So I'm going to say line height, and this line height, I'm just going to say 18px. So this is what it does, 18px. And as you can see, it gave it some line height over there. And the next thing I want to do is go ahead and add in a font size, and we could simply just say 14px. And as you can see, it's reduced the font size, and that's what I want. It was looking way too big. Now the next thing I want to add in is margin bottom, because it seems very close to the desfix text. So I'm going to say margin bottom, and I can simply add in 6px. So as you can see, it's now some pixels below or above the desfix text. Okay, so finally I want to go ahead and say title, and I want to target A, and in this A I want to go ahead and target span. So you guys already know how this works. Now I'm going to say text decoration, and I simply want to pass in none. So I want to remove that underline that's on desfix, and I also want to pass in color, and we could use RGB. We could use the 969696. Remember, we'll be using that. So I could say 96. Come over here, change this to 96. Finally change this to 96. Okay, so as you can see, that's looking way better now. Then we also need to go ahead and target the H1. So I'm simply gonna say H1, and we need to say font size should be 20px. So I'm gonna say font dash size should be 20px. Okay, that's looking better. And something else that we could do is this. We'll go ahead and target the margin. We'll go ahead and add a property or attribute rather, which is margin bottom, and we could say 10px. So as you can see, that's give it some margin bottom. And for the H1, I'm gonna come over to the index, and I'm gonna look for the H1. So this is where actually I don't have a H1. Okay, so looking at this real quick, I just remember that this was the H1 that I used. My mind wasn't going there again, so I'm gonna change this to 10. You can see it's added over there. So that's pretty much it. Now I want to go ahead and make this responsive. So as you can see, this is everything that we've got. That's how it's looking. I'm gonna get back to my index.html, and I'm simply gonna copy this single video and paste it post it some more times, so we'll see how everything looks. So it's gonna refresh, and as you can see, this is how everything is looking. So right now I don't seem to be able to scroll, and that's a problem. So I don't seem to be able to scroll, and we need to go and check out what the problem is. As you can see from the final one, I could actually scroll. Okay, I think I disabled my scroll over here, and that's not supposed to be so. I disabled it. I need to go ahead and get that back, and I want to make sure that this is at 100%. And as you can see right now, this isn't even looking good. I need to fix a whole lot of things over here, but let's go ahead and make this mobile responsive first. And before that, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all those images that I added, so I could see how everything is looking. I'm gonna come back here, and so as you can see, this is how everything is looking on 100%. That's it. You want to make sure that you are leaving this at 100%, so you see how everything is looking. Okay, I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, and I think this is dividing the images into 3 sections. We're gonna fix this later. Let's go ahead and make this mobile responsive. So if we come over here for the mobile, this is how it's looking. I'm just gonna go ahead and drag this out. This is how it's looking. Now we need to make this mobile responsive for just we need to make the header responsive, and that should be it. This one's over here. We need to make it responsive. And what else can we even make responsive? We can make the mobile responsive. Okay, so let's target some endpoints or some breakpoints rather. So I'm gonna say media screen, and instead of using screen, I'm just gonna use max width over here. So firstly, I want the max width for this one to be 425. So I'm gonna say 425, and I'm gonna get rid of this, open that up, put it down there, and 425. Make sure that you're putting this in a bracket just like that. This over here should be in a bracket too. Take note of that. I'm going to get rid of this, and that should be it. Now I will go ahead and add in some things over here. So I'm going to say header underscore underscore search should be none. Okay, so I don't want to show the header search and when I get to that breakpoint. So hopefully this refreshed. I think this isn't working yet because I could see some error over here. So header underscore search. Okay, what am I even doing? This is supposed to be display none. I actually got myself confused over there. So I'm gonna get down, 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 down. As you can see, it's okay. As you can see, it stops showing when it gets to that breakpoint. So what I'm gonna do is simply just come over to 125, and this is looking really small right now. We're gonna go ahead and debug some of the problems that we've got. So firstly, as you can see, this is not looking good, and I'm sure it's gonna be from the author. And let's change this over here to details, and that's now looking more aligned. Everything is obviously looking bad compared to this. As you can see, we've got this background color over here, and I overlooked that. I didn't actually see it. We don't have it, and we can actually scroll here, but we can't scroll. So I need to actually target in the index of HTML. Let's look at this. I have this class called videos that gets all the videos at once, so I actually need to target that. I'm just gonna get maybe to the top over here, just after the HR, and I'm gonna say dot videos. And in this dot videos, firstly, we could just give it a background color, and I could give it this color F9, F9, F9. And as you can see, now we have that background color. Now the next thing, we could go ahead and give it as a width. I could say 100%, and I also want to give it the same height, 100%. So I'm going to say height 100%, and I want to give it a padding 15 padding, and I'm simply going to say 15px, just like that. And I also want to give it a border top, so I'm going to say border top. This one is going to be 1px solid, and we could just say let's just say hash ddd, something like that, and that's simply what we want. Now finally, for the scrolling, we're gonna say overflow, and this is supposed to be overflow y, so we want it to go on the y-axis, and we're gonna pass in scroll. So with all this now, what do you notice? This is looking quite good, right? So everything is looking good right now, and as you can see, we've got the hover, we've got the recommended, we've got the fixed nav bar, we've got a whole lot of things, and I think that's gonna be it. But let's go ahead and check out the responsiveness. So this is how it's looking over here, and I do not like this at all. So this isn't looking good at all. Now we need to go ahead and fix this. So over here, I'm just gonna get down to the media query. So remember this media query that we've got over here. I'm just gonna get down here, and for here I'm gonna close out one of those tabs. And the first thing that we need to do over here is, since we've gotten the breakpoints that we want to use, which is 425, make sure that you pass in pixels over here so that something's actually fires up. I'm gonna refresh this. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and add some more classes. So I want to target the header underscore icon. Remember, we created that, but we haven't used it. And I want to also target the material icons, and I'm simply going to display none for those ones, and let's see. Okay, as you can see, they are gone. But how about on the full screen? So on the full screen, as you can see, obviously we've got them over here. So I'm just going to take this back once more, and I'm going to take this and put it at 100%. And at the full screen, we've got it over. I think that's what we want to do. Now let's go ahead and do some more things. I also want to search the targeted display this. Remember, we had this display this thing that I added from the HTML section, and if you don't remember, I'm going to go ahead and show you now. After I type this out, I want to display this inline. Okay, so let's see how this is looking. Display, refresh this. I don't know why the icons keep going away. Don't worry, I'm going to fix that later. And I don't want to display the sidebar, so I'm going to say dot sidebar. Let's take it away. I'm going to say display should be none, and it should be gone. It should be gone from here. Okay, so as you can see, the sidebar is gone over there, but these icons don't seem to be going, and that's not really good. So definitely either the material icon is not working or the display this I didn't actually configure it well in the CSS. But I'm going to go ahead and get that. Let me just finish writing out all this that I want to write out. So we've done this one, and also the last width that we're going to be targeting is the 786 then 941. So I'm simply going to come over here and I'm going to say at media, and I simply want to target a max width of, so I'm going to say max width. So for this max width, I'm simply targeting 768, and that's for like iPad size, for iPad size devices. And I don't know why I keep getting back to the main JS. So over here, I'm gonna add in a bracket, and I'm still gonna add in a bracket over there, and I'm gonna open up curly brackets. Okay. So after this now, the first thing that we could do is go ahead and target the header search. So I'm gonna say header underscore search. We've actually gotten that before, and I just want to see display none, so I don't want to see it again. And I also want to target the sidebar, so I'm going to say sidebar. I don't want to display it at all, so I'm going to say display none. And we can also actually go ahead and get the show sidebar. So this show sidebar, we're going to be using it in JavaScript. Okay, now we could just go ahead and add some custom things. I'm going to say display. I'm going to pass in inline, so display inline, and I'm going to say position. This should be fixed, so I don't want it to actually move. Then I'm going to say top, and I want to pass in a 4.4 rem, just like that. And finally, I'm going to say height, and I'm going to pass in auto, just like that. So after that, I think that's pretty much what I want to do. Now I'm going to be targeting the final media query, so I'm going to say media, and at media, and I simply want to pass in max. Okay, something is definitely wrong, because let me take a close look at this. So this is what we've got over here. This is what we've got. This is what we've got. Everything is looking good. I'm gonna pass in the media, and I'm gonna say max dash width. And for this one, what we're targeting is 941. So anything from this and above. And actually, I want to pass in px over here, so that's what I'm missing. Now over here, I'm now going to open this up, and in this media query, what I simply want to say is the header underscore search, and I simply want to target the inputs, and I want to say the width should be 300 px, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh this now, and let's see. So definitely, as you can see, some more things are obviously missing over here, and I'm gonna minimize this just like this. And as you can see, this is how it's looking. It's not looking bad, so I'm gonna get it all the way here. And see, when I start compressing this, what do you notice? It actually starts getting responsive. So you see, when I get that, it already starts getting responsive, and that's pretty much what we want. Everything is looking good and fine. And I think in the next video, we're going to go ahead and just work with a single page. Then we're going to simply go ahead and start working with a Django. So for now, everything is looking really good. And yeah, that's going to be it. And I want to give you guys a challenge. Try adding light mode and dark mode here using JavaScript, and see how everything works out for you. So that's it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and learned something. And if you did and you have some questions, do make sure to drop in the comment section. I'm always there to help you guys out. And if for any reason you want me to explain any line of the code, just drop it there and I'll be glad to explain it to you guys. I hope I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.